Thanks for joining us for this Zero Waste video series segment. The Zero Waste video series is organized by Waste Free Advocates, formerly Recycling Advocates, an Oregon-based nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering and connecting Oregon communities to minimize overconsumption and waste. With this video series, we are seeking to not only inform folks who are interested in learning about zero waste efforts within our region, but also to connect to entrepreneurial, government, and community advocates to help strengthen our growing network so that we can help each other in growing these positive and impactful practices and infrastructure. Please write in your questions and suggestions in the comments where we're going to be continuing the conversation. We're very excited to be speaking with Jocelyn Quarrell of GoBox, who's been working tirelessly to build out this zero waste infrastructure and network within the food world. Can you welcome Jocelyn, and can you start us off this morning with telling us what consumption and waste issue you're tackling?
Yeah, we're working on reducing single-use waste, primarily waste from takeout food and drink. Although we're working with other food adjacent businesses as well to reduce other forms of packaging across different retail sectors and industries.
Right on, right on. We all got hit with a ton of extra takeout waste with the pandemic. There was a lot of food safety concern, and that was a huge one of mine. So with the food packaging, how does that work for folks who are using the boxes?
Sure. And actually, if I may just take one half step back and talk more, just a half second longer about the problem, because I think what my first answer was really talking about the social problem that we're trying to tackle, which is reducing this waste that is either going to our landfill or ending up as litter. But I've lately been trying to recalibrate how we're really approaching this problem and thinking about it more from an individual's perspective. And doing some research and really kind of sussing out how I was feeling about this topic as well. I came across the topic of eco-anxiety and green guilt. And I was like, that's actually what it is that we're working on. Is just, we encounter these choices in our day-to-day lives, but often we really don't have a choice. And at the end of the day, we all just want the agency to be able to make environmentally friendly choices. And to feel like we're part of a collective group making positive change. So to kind of think of it from a really broad level and then bringing it home, like very, very much like you said, during the pandemic, all the waste we were bringing into our homes. So
yeah, and it's so helpful to have that name for it. Mm-hmm. The eco-anxiety, that's like we've all been circling around that this whole time.
Yeah, I thought it was empowering too, to be like, yes, that's what it is. That's what that is called.
So to empower folks to reduce their waste from their restaurant take home, what is it, the service that you're offering?
Right. So we're primarily working with businesses. We work with little businesses. Those are our local restaurants, food carts, regional grocery store chains, to provide them with inventory of reusable containers. It's our containers. GoBox owns the containers, but we provide it to the restaurants. Oh. And then their customers, they can join GoBox, download our mobile app, purchase a subscription, and then they can borrow and return these reusable containers in much the same way that you borrow and return a library book or like a bike share bike.
Okay, so you guys own the containers, and so the restaurant just kind of hosts a stack of them to loan out as they're requested by your customers.
Yep, we do all the cleaning, right? So we have already cleaned and sanitized these containers. We deliver them to these food vendors. They have them on site, so they're on demand. Mm-hmm. When a GoBox subscriber wants to order a zero waste meal, they can visit one of our partner vendors, and again, just use our mobile app. It's a quick process to check out up to 4 containers at a time. So we kind of give you the option as well to how many containers do you need this time? And then we have an accountability method as well to try to help people learn how to reuse correctly. So you have to return those containers and basically get the credits back on your account before you can use GoBox again. So, check them out from your favorite restaurants, return them to your local grocery store, and then the cycle can just keep going around. And we're really just there to help with the logistics. So, delivering the cleans, picking up the returns, and then making sure that we're doing a really great job being super thorough in our cleaning and sanitation process. So yeah, that's how the service works.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
And when restaurants want to partner with you, like do you have a lot of restaurants contacting you to start up? Is there like a waiting time? Like what is that looking like at this point in time?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do see restaurants reaching out to us. It's always so great when they are, we know that's a for sure solid market match. They want a sustainable option. We have one to be able to provide to them. So they'll send us an email or give us a call. Either myself or our general manager, John, will follow up with another phone call, maybe some emails. We'll go and visit. So show them some samples of the containers so they can get a feel for what that looks like, see what their food looks like in the different containers. It's important from their perspective as well that the food that they're taking so much time and care to prepare is presented well and delivered to the customer as well. So, but often it's a very quick process. Within, a few days to a week, we can usually get folks up and running. We have a lot of inventory in stock. We basically saw that, there are some supply chain issues happening in this moment for a lot of food vendors unable to get all different types of foodstuffs and the serviceware stuff as well. So we stand at the ready to work with more food vendors, and we are doing active outreach as well. Like I mentioned, our general manager, John, he's been doing different kind of outreach to food cart pods around the area to try to encourage more of our food carts to come on board, and then hosting job site locations there as well. So it's just super easy and convenient for folks to access GoBox when they're already going to those local foodie kind of favorite spots around town that they're already going to. So
totally. Yeah. And like if I'm a GoBox subscriber, it seems like it's pretty easy. Like anytime I'm into a restaurant, like there's these ways of using the Facebook check-in and stuff like that. And it's so easy to just log into Instagram and say like, hey, GoBox, I'm at this place. I would love to, get my takeaway from here. And like, it's getting so much easier to connect.
Absolutely. And we love those recommendations and referrals. And we think it's so authentic as well when you have, folks that are passionate about reducing waste, have conversations with your favorite restaurants and kind of encourage them to consider. As a matter of fact, we've been discussing the formation of sort of an ambassador program here, which would enable GoBox subscribers to help us do just that. It's less about a sales pitch and more of just like an education touch point to say, hey, I'm a customer of yours and I really want the sustainable option. So consider GoBox, give GoBox a try. Here's our website. And we're doing what we can to make GoBox easier for food vendors to utilize. Pre-pandemic, we were charging our food vendors a per container fee. And that's something that we've done away with sort of in consideration of how tough the pandemic has been on our local food scene. The delivery companies that just like overcharge commission fees and stuff like that. It just became so clear to me as I was learning about all of that last year, how important it is for us to really make clear both the reason why it's important to work with GoBox to reduce waste, but also the economic incentivization to say we want to help you because you're going to help us. So we'll give you these containers at no cost, and you can really ensure that you're reducing your waste and your costs associated with those single-use products. if you're actively encouraging your customers to sign up for GoBox subscriptions as well. So we want it to be like a hyper mutualistic, the restaurants are getting something out of it, the customers are getting something out of it. We're helping the whole thing happen. So
Totally. Wow. You guys, and you and your team have been such champions of making an example of how to make these collaborations work between organizations, between the folks who are like between the customer and the business. And, you're really filling in a very, very necessary service here. I'm sorry I didn't explain that very well, but yes, there's a huge need, and like you even collaborating, like not even with the food containers, but there's the necessary washing service. You've got the washing station set up, so you're partnering with the produce delivery companies where it comes with a little freezer gel packet. And in the zero waste Facebook group, it comes up all the time. What do I do with this packet? It's not necessarily recyclable. I hate to just dump this stuff outside or down the drain, or like there's this huge question of what to do with it. And so you're fulfilling that need, that it needs to be sanitary to be used again. If it's going to be used again, it needs to be picked up somewhere if it's going to get washed.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for mentioning that. Yes, we've partnered with Imperfect Produce to help them reuse their gel packs that they are providing their customers when they're delivering produce. So, and that's really been, over the past, 8 months now, 9 months, we have been really leaning into more of a B to big B. So I mentioned we were like working with the little B's, the local restaurants and food carts, but now we're trying to work with the big B's as well, that being Imperfect Foods. We did a pilot program with Starbucks up in Seattle this past spring. So there seems to be more and more of these big B's, these big consumer brands that are feeling pressure from their customers to provide them with a sustainable option. Often as customers, we're getting these goods that we want, in the form of organic produce or a delicious cup of coffee. But the remnant of that, the packaging is like not something that we asked for, and it's emotionally fraught to have to deal with. And so these big companies, these big consumer brands that are stepping out to find solutions that work for their customers, I think is a really encouraging sign. And we are absolutely thrilled to be a part of that, to be supporting them with logistics and primarily washing services. So we, in July, just moved into a new 8,000 square foot warehouse where we're able to be washing all of these assets really quickly. So
that's amazing. And and it's not necessarily like a glamorous service to be like, okay, I'm done with college and I'm gonna make a washing facility. But when you look into the whole issue and like how to problem solve and what's the missing thing, it's like, okay, well, what's missing is giant dishwashers, and like that.
Truly. Yeah, I mean, we hear from a lot of companies, that's what's holding them back, is that they don't want to do the dishes, or they don't have the room to do the dishes, or they don't have the staff to do the dishes. So yep, that's our niche. That's what we're looking to help people with. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure that it's going to grow quite a bit, and you're doing all of the things to make it more available, because in the beginning, not having it very available for the consumers, it's hard to sign up for it, where you're kind of like, okay, well, if it's a food cart that's downtown, then I could use it that one time that I go downtown or whatever. But as you're growing, you're spreading out, there's all kinds of options, places to use it. So I think that you guys are over the hump. I'm very excited
on it. Yeah, I mean, last year was very, very tricky, but we're super excited with where we're at. We are, we're asking for support in a number of ways to get us to that next level here in the next 6 to 12 months. So hopefully we'll have a lot of exciting announcements to be making, and growing our team here and making our service available at more local restaurants and food carts, and working with those larger brands as well. So yeah.
Can you tell us how can folks connect with you guys? Can you tell us if you have email or Instagram, that stuff, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So please find us online at goboxpdx.com. On Instagram, we're at goboxpdx. For email, you can reach out info@goboxpdx.com, or encourage your audience to reach out to me directly if they have something to share. And I'm at Jocelyn@goboxpdx.com.
Excellent. Oh, well, I'm very excited for folks to be connecting with you all and for you to be connecting with these folks. With that, I will not take up any more of your time, Jocelyn. And I will just want to say thanks for joining us for this Zero Waste video series segment. Please join the conversation, which will continue in the comments section. So please don't be shy, whether you have one question or 10, whether you represent a business or government or community, we all have ideas and connections to offer. This low waste and low consumption lifestyle is for everybody. Working together and doing our part will have lasting positive impacts on our planet and livability. You can help waste-free advocates in whatever way you like, from financial support to joining our board of volunteers. Visit wastefreeadvocates.org for links, and please follow, like, share, and subscribe to Waste Free Advocates to receive notifications of our events and future episodes of the Zero Waste video series that you won't want to miss. We hope to inspire you to inspire others through your positive influence, and remember that when you share what you know and who you know, you multiply the good that you do.
So thank you for tuning in, and keep being an advocate for change in your local community.